The Crown Season 6 Part 1 takes place between July and August 1997, depicting the tumultuous final weeks of Princess Diana, with the writers taking artistic liberties that some may find shocking. The end of Season 5 saw Diana invited to Egyptian businessman Mohammed Al Fayed's yacht in Saint-Tropez. The two had established a friendship over the years, with Mohammed leveraging this to obtain the thing he wants more than anything else in the world: acceptance into British high society. In Season 5, we saw how he hired the king's former personal valet, bought the iconic British department store Harrods, and let King Edward and his wife live in his mansion, aptly named Villa Windsor. If we're to believe the show's depiction of events, Mohammed was a master manipulator who coaxed his son into leaving his fiancée, actress Kelly Fisher, to seduce and marry Princess Diana. He coordinated Diana and Dodi being on his yacht and even gave a paparazzo the coordinates to catch the infamous shot of them kissing, with Mario Brenna, the photographer, denying he was ever paid by Mr. Al Fayed. In fact, the show goes even further with its dramatization of events. While it's true that Dodi and Diana had a love affair, the show suggests Diana had no intention of marrying Dodi. According to one of Diana's friends, she, quote, needed another marriage like she needed a rash in the face, which is likely why the writers here decided to explore this narrative. And it kinda makes sense. It was only a year since she divorced from Charles, and the absolute circus that came with it would surely make someone hesitant to marry so quickly. It was Mohammed Al Fayed who pushed the story that Dodi and Diana were engaged, and the evidence of such was the Dimois ring. But that very evidence actually works against this theory. Let's take, for example, the engagement ring Dodi bought for his ex-fiancée, Kelly Fisher. That was estimated at $200,000, while the Dimois ring a paltry $11,000 in comparison. If this were an engagement ring, surely Dodi would want something way more extravagant, considering it will be photographed by every media outlet in the world. In reality, this ring was most likely a gift. Dodi was known to give Diana gifts like this Cartier watch, a thanks for the week in Saint-Tropez. Now, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the absolute attention to detail the production designers have done here. This is the security camera footage from the night of Diana's death alongside the set they've created, and you can just see the care they put into it. The show also hints that Dodi and Diana's driver, Henri Paul, was drunk, showing him at the bar moments before taking the wheel. A toxicology report later found that Henri had 3 times the French legal limit of alcohol in his blood. Queen Elizabeth takes a back seat in Part 1, but also faces a series of challenges both personally and for the crown. Just as in Season 5, it looks like the Queen will struggle with embracing change, deciding not to go to Camilla's 50th birthday party because she does not approve of the prince's decision to divorce. But the Queen's biggest test will come in the aftermath of Diana's death. Will her body be flown back on the royal jet? Will Diana receive a royal and public funeral? And will the Queen publicly address the people in their time of mourning? For the Queen, the answer is simple. You're either in with the royals or out.
I always say it's hard to be half in anything. You're either in or out.
But the gravity of this situation is unlike anything the royals have faced, and over the course of Part 1, the Queen softens and ultimately does what she thinks is right, even if it goes against tradition. As my dad often says, sometimes it's better to be good than to be right. Although Mohammed Al Fayed is heartbroken over the death of his son, he still believes this tragedy will trauma bond him to the royals.
المصيبة دي أكيد هتقربنا من بعض. محدش هيحس بوجعهم.
But when the poem Dodi wrote for Diana is returned without any word and the royals essentially shut him out, he questions why he and his people will never be seen as equals.
الظاهر مكتوب علينا احنا العرب نفضل مكروهين من الغرب على طول.
An artistic choice I enjoyed about the aftermath was the ability for the ghosts of Diana and Dodi to visit our characters. It provides a way to offer some closure and allows our characters to see their own flaws. Perhaps the most important of these encounters was Diana with the Queen. The Queen initially sees Diana's death as an event that turned her house upside down, but Diana makes her see that's not it at all.
They're trying to show you who they are, what they feel, what they need.
And the Queen, having always been a beacon of what it means to be British, now must learn from her people.
As long as anyone can remember, you've taught us what it means to be British. Maybe it's time to show you're ready to learn too.
It's after this meeting with Diana that the Queen decides to give a public address, offering a mourning nation words of strength and compassion. It should be noted that the Queen did face criticism for waiting an entire week after Diana's death to make this address. In part 1's final scene, the Queen prays, but for a brief moment looks over her shoulder, almost as if sensing something. The weight of grief finally hits her, and it seems as though she doesn't know what to say, so she turns to her right, perhaps hoping to see Diana. Maybe she wanted peace or approval on how she handled the situation. Regardless, it's bittersweet that the final shot is of the Queen looking for help from the one person that wanted her love and approval, but is now no longer around to receive it. While part 1 shows the grief-stricken royals, events such as William going missing at Balmoral may not be true. The show depicts a deeply emotional Charles, whereas Prince Harry's memoir paints a slightly different picture, stating that the only comfort he received from his father upon learning of his mother's death was a pat on the knee. One scene that struck me as particularly heartbreaking was Prince Philip's words to William while walking behind the hearse. Philip, not one to really show his emotion, tells William not to react to the grieving crowd. While William asks why they grieve for a woman they never personally knew, he says,
"I'm not crying for her. I'm crying for you."
With The Crown coming to an end after the 6th season, we still have part 2 arriving in December, consisting of 6 episodes. These episodes are set to cover the Queen's Golden Jubilee, Prince Charles and Camilla's wedding, and the courtship of William and Kate. I hope you'll like and subscribe, as I'll be covering part 2 as well. But now I turn it over to you. What did you think of part 1? Leave your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, please be sure to like and subscribe, and for more bad takes you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ThinkStoryYT. Until next time, remember,
You're either in or out.